how are you? Love and peace. This is Ray. So, I want to talk about transitioning effect. Transitioning or phasing effect. Okay? They're both the same thing. So, what is the transitioning effect or the phasing effect? Alright? I'm going to use more of the terminology phasing, but I mean transitioning. It's the same thing. I just like to use the word phasing because it's like you're phasing through. It's like phasing through a wall or phasing into a different reality. That's what occurs as you're changing your vibration to match that of your desire or your want. Okay, this is how it works. I explained it to you before. I said it again that nothing in the universe is really new, really created. At this point, everything is already in creation. Anything you could ever imagine, hope to imagine, ever hope to have, or anyone for that matter, is already in creation. It's already happening now. That's why for someone to say something is impossible, it's possible. If you go to, it's like this. It's like how many times you've heard the story of somebody says they see a product on TV or an idea on TV, and they say, "Oh, I thought about that." Yeah, and so did 20 other million people, but you know what? It was the one that took that idea and brought it from the intangible or the invisible and brought it to the visible, okay, or the tangible, okay. So you want to take it from the idea phase, which is like wishful thinking or great idea, which is just in the mind, and that's like the internet, just floating out there, to the realm of reality, to this world, and so to the tangible world. And when the ones that manage to do that and they can move forward, then with the idea is the ones that gain the advantage, or the ones that gain the success or the manifestation of it. So transitioning, okay, effect is moving from one realm of reality into the next. You are constantly transitioning or phasing in and out. It's the phase effect. Okay? Einstein talks about this theory that there are multiple realities living within the same reality. So you have different planets. Each planet represents a possible reality based off the current situation that you're making. So every time you're making a choice. Now this is happening subconsciously, because the subconscious mind has the power to change all things. Subconscious mind is higher self, direct connection with source. So, and let me explain that real quick here. Why do I say that? Well, how many times have you made a decision that you come to realize was not the decision you truly wanted, but you still followed through with such a passion, such a desire, that it came to fruition? And it could have been based off fear. Most of the times we do it based off fear based. That's because subconsciously you desire that so on, or you feared it so much. You feared it so much, and that's the desire. You have desire, and then you have the fear. Desire can carry a high frequency of love, of want, or let's say love, the higher vibration. Fear carries a lower powerful vibration, in a lot of ways equal to the desire of love. It's the opposite. Law of opposites. Look that up. So, just like you can have a strong desire to accomplish something and you go out and you accomplish it, you can also have the opposite of a strong fear in the subconscious that you don't want this to occur, you don't want that to come into your realm or your reality, but then you keep focusing on it subconsciously or consciously. Sometimes it happens to both, and then what happens is you manifest it, and that thing that you feared the most, you manifest. That's why you gotta be cautious of that and be aware of where it's really happening at. Where is the true source of this power, and that's the subconscious. That's why you have to learn how to master the faculties of your mind so that you can gain better access to the subconscious. And you do that through the practical application and understanding of the universal laws within your own life. Okay? So when you're transitioning, every time you're making a choice, whether conscious or subconscious, every time you're making a choice, you're constantly transitioning. Boom, 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 boom. You're constantly transitioning. When you're having visions or deja vu of like you've been here, done that before, it's not a memory. It's that you're transitioning into that moment for a brief second or nanosecond, whatever amount of time it is. You're transitioning at that moment. You just phased in to that realm of reality, and as quickly as you got there, you quickly phased back to your reality. And in that the other reality, you're standing same place, same spot, but you're already having the other experience, whether negative or positive, having that experience. Kind of like, let's give you a better tangible example. Let's say you go to Tops or some grocery store, and you all of a sudden you have a flash, or like what they call deja vu, and like, man, I remember being here and I remember running into my friend. And maybe you don't run into that friend in this realm of reality, but in the other, it occurred. You see? You just phased in and out. And so you're constantly phasing in and out, constantly phasing in and out, constantly experiencing different realms of reality. Every time you're making a choice, again, subconsciously or consciously, you're phasing in and out to these different realms of reality. That's why reality, the real reality, is based on your belief, based on your perception of what is reality and what is not. Then you're probably asking, well, how is it that if I'm transitioning or phasing in and out, how is it that I'm able to see the same people? Well, because the people that are in your vibrational harmonic frequency will share a lot of similarities within their realm of existence, or their perception of what they consider existence. So you can share experiences. Maybe you have that one friend that you only go to the club one time, usually on the weekend. You don't see him the rest of the time. At that moment in time, that's when you're coming together. See, you come together, boom, and the vibration matches, and you meet up in that realm of reality. You decided, you chose, whether conscious or subconsciously, to meet up in that realm of reality. Maybe in the past life you had a certain relationship, who knows? But in that realm of reality, you meet up for that particular moment, to experience that particular experience or situation, circumstance, or event. So we're constantly transitioning. We're constantly going in and out, phasing in and out from different realms of reality. You see, people, when you understand that these things are happening, and you're taking the advice that I'm giving you, so that, no, not that you're crazy, no, not that I'm trying to prove anything to you. I don't need to prove anything to you. I do this all the time. I'm just trying to convey to you guys what is occurring as you're applying these universal laws. We apply these laws, and there's so many teachers that tells you about the laws, but they do not tell you what is really happening vibrationally. They don't tell you what is occurring. They don't tell you that the most minute circumstances, situations, or events that is taking place internally, externally, visible and invisible. So I'm just trying to help you guys to get a better understanding, because the true power is clarity of what is occurring. As you awaken, you remember everything that I'm telling you. You remember how things work, how the laws work. It's like the movie Lucy. When you look at the movie Lucy, she understood that, what was the phasing in and out of reality was not that she was going to die. To the people on that current planet Earth in that point in time, to them, at the end of the movie, she totally disappeared. When the cop gets the phone call and he says, "Where is she?" And then she gets the phone rings and she says, "I'm everywhere. I'm everywhere." That's how it really works. That's not like illusionary. It's really like that. You're phasing in all the time. That's why if you do the research on your own, and like the biblical terminology states, test the spirits, research. Go out there and find out. Just don't take my word. Research this stuff. And one thing that you could research about the phasing in and out effects is that you'll see a lot of the stories of people who were like totally poor, totally broke, or sick, or about to die or in some crazy situation, and they had that finite decision, whether conscious or subconscious, they made that decision and said, enough is enough, no more. I won't be sick anymore, or I won't be broke anymore, I won't be in this situation anymore, I won't have terrible relationships anymore. And they make that choice, and then all of a sudden their life changed, and it happened so rapidly, so quickly, that it could take, for some people they describe it as months, some describe it as 2 or 3 years, some describe it as a year, some describe it as 6 years. And then they all have the one thing in common, which enforces what I'm trying to tell you about phasing in and out or transitioning, is that they said that it all seems like it just happened in the blink of an eye, because that's what it is. The universal laws, when studied correctly, will take you from being where you're at now to leaps and bounds so quickly, so fast, that your life just changes so quickly. And it leaves you like, what happened? Leaves you thinking like, wow, what just happened? I remember living this, but it felt like a dream. That's a lot of descriptions that you hear from other people. They say, wow, I was living this life of poverty, and here I am now. You know, just to give you a couple of names, and I'm going to end this video, to look at is Anthony Robbins. He was a janitor, worked for, cleaning his high school, and he did that for 6 years. And then 6 years prior, he's flying back. His value is worth $400 million. He's flying back, flying his own helicopter. You see what I mean? And he was like, wow, how did this happen? Bob Proctor, look him up, he stated that, he was always broke, always in debt. And Carnegie comes along, gives him some advice. A year later, he's making tons of money. 3 years later, he's scratching his head. It's like, what happened? The economy is the same, everything the same. I got the same third grade education. How is it that I was able to change my life? What changed? How it just seems like out of nowhere, the floodgates just opened, all these success and riches came out of nowhere. And all I did was change the way I perceive life. Jim Rohn, the same thing. He says the first 6 years of his life, he was totally in debt, totally broke. He met this successful multimillionaire who advised him. And he says, you should be a millionaire. And he said, oh, you're going to give me money? Jim Rohn says, you're going to give me money? He's like, no, I'm not going to give you money, but I will teach you the millionaire mindset, which is what we're talking about, the universal laws, the success mind, the formula. And so he says the next 6 years of his life, everything was the same. The economy was the same. Everything, his education was the same. Very similar story as Bob Proctor. He says Jim Rohn says the only difference is that he was a millionaire. What changed? His perception, the way he looks at things, his energy, his vibration. He learned to tap in, whether conscious or subconsciously, to the higher level vibrational frequency of money, of wealth, of success, of better relationships. There is a higher vibrational frequency for better relationships. Learn how to tap into that and watch your relationships become amazing. If you have bad relationship with friends, you don't have good friends or friends you can't trust. Learn to tap into that vibration of loyalty, of respect, of dignity, of good friends, and watch you have great friends. They will, vibrationally speaking, they will match up and they will come out of nowhere. If you're in debt, change your vibration. Learn to what is the vibration of success, of wealth? Study the success people. Study those stories. Try to figure their vibrations. See how they think, how they act. And then you realize, you start to be aware of it. And as you start to become aware of it, you start to tune in. Awareness is just tuning in to the vibration, those vibrations of our desires and wants. Our desires and wants, each individual that has a separate desire and want is a separate frequency to a different thing, circumstance, situation that they want. One person that's watching this video may want desire perfect health. Then vibrate at that frequency of health. And watch how the health comes. You want money? Vibrate at the frequency of money and watch how the money comes. That's how it works. I've done that, and I'm continuously changing that vibration to allow the endless flow of it all. Because there are different levels of it. You can go from having a paycheck to barely living to changing your vibration where more money, you can do more freedom, but you probably still don't have that absolute finite freedom where you're not worrying about money at all, where money is working for you, where you get everything, like you have the Midas touch, where everything you touch, any business you touch, anything you think of and you put into action brings value and brings abundance and wealth to you. Raise your vibration to that by becoming clear, by looking at others that have done it before you. Like the Wright brothers, they decided that they want to learn how to fly, so they decided to look at the animals that can fly, and they kept studying and researching and learning and using the imagination and desire and the will, and it became so. That's why we have planes. So you got to be able to learn how to transition and how transitioning is happening every time. Now, you can listen to what I'm saying and try to apply this information to your path, to your journey, or you can be, continue on the path of whatever you choose. I'm not going to use ignorant because I have no right to say that you're ignorant or not. You have the right to choose whatever reality that you want. I'm telling you that whether you're applying this consciously or subconsciously, it's still, these laws are still in effect. Whether you acknowledge them or not, they're still there. Whether if it, like right now it's cloudy, and for me to say that the sun is not out is ignorant because I know the sun is out. Just because I don't see it, if I go above the clouds, I'm gonna see the sun. That's just the way it is. You know what I mean? If I say that the law of gravity doesn't exist and I jump off of a building, I may be ignorant or try to be ignorant, but when I hit that ground, if I either break a leg, if I survive, or major body injury, I'm gonna feel it. I'm gonna feel it. These laws are in effect. Whether you want to utilize them or not, they're happening every day. When was the last time, ask yourself, when was the last time you really sat there and try to worry about making sure your heart is beating or making sure that you're breathing? You don't have to do that because that's an automatic. It's happening whether you acknowledge it or not, whether you're conscious or subconscious, it's happening. These laws are built around the same concept, that they're constantly in effect, whether you're aware of it, whether you accept it or not. They don't need you to acknowledge them for them to be in effect. They will always be in effect. So isn't it better to learn how these laws work and to apply them into your life so that you can have the awareness and the clarity of who and what you are and have the life, if you so desire, to have for you and for your family, and most importantly for the world? Because as you awaken more and more and more to who you are, the ripple effect occurs, and your fire, your light, lights a spark on to everyone within your vicinity, and that's a blessing to all of us. As always, this is Ray. Love and peace.